Hi scholars, it's me, Dr. Christy, and I'm back with another lesson. Today I'm going to read to you this book. It's called Naked Mole Rat Gets Dressed, and it's by Mo Willems again. Here is how it goes. Naked Mole Rat Gets Dressed. There is much to learn about the fascinating little creatures known as naked mole rats, but for this story you only need to know 3 things. They are a little bit rat, they are a little bit mole, they are all naked. Remember this number 3, it's going to be important. Well, they were, with one exception. Wilbur, the naked mole rat who liked to get dressed. When the other naked mole rats saw him, they said, "Ew, yuck, what are you doing?" "I like clothes," replied Wilbur. "When I get dressed, I can be fancy or funny or cool, or I can just be an astronaut." When the others heard that, they said, "Ew, yuck. If you like clothes so much, then why don't you open a store or something?" Naked mole rats can be very sarcastic. But Wilbur thought it was a great idea. The other naked mole rats did not. They brought Wilbur to a giant portrait of Grandpa, the oldest, greatest, and most naked mole rat ever. "Look at that picture," they demanded. "Look at his heroic face. Look at his regal bearing. Look at his total lack of clothing." Grandpa did look heroic. Grandpa did look regal. But he would also look heroic and regal in a casual shirt and some summer slacks. "Ugh," said the other naked mole rats. "Don't you get it? Naked mole rats don't wear clothes." "Why not?" asked Wilbur. Something had to be done. The naked mole rats marched right over to Grandpa and told him all about Wilbur. And then he asked, "Why not?" Grandpa was very wise. He thought seriously about everything he had heard. And then he thought some more. Finally, he said in a heroic, regal voice, "Gather the colony! I shall make a proclamation." When Wilbur heard about Grandpa's proclamation, he knew it was serious. A proclamation, a proclamation, a proclamation. But he had no idea what to wear. In the end, he decided to play it safe. Can you see here in this picture, he decided to just wear a pair of socks. He maybe didn't play it safe enough. The others were so busy looking at Wilbur's socks that no one noticed Grandpa enter until he cleared his throat and proclaimed, "Fellow naked mole rats, I had never worn clothes until I heard Wilbur's simple question, 'Why not?' Why not indeed? Do clothes hurt anyone? No. Are they fun? Well, they may not be for everyone, but this old naked mole rat wishes he had tried getting dressed earlier." Then Grandpa complimented Wilbur on his socks. As fast as his legs could carry him, Wilbur rushed home, put on his favorite outfit, and dashed back. When he returned, Wilbur discovered he was not alone. Much has been said about that day, but for this story, you only need to know 3 things. Some of the mole rats were naked. Some of the mole rats were clothed. All of the naked mole rats had a good time. Wait, it doesn't say that. It says all of the mole rats had a great time. Some of them weren't naked. The end. Now, for this lesson, we're going to look at the letters E and D that are put at the ends of words, to show that the word happened, or the action happened in the past. So we have some words that are the names of people, places, and things, like dog, mom, school, Ohio, United States of America, lots of words that name a person, a place, or a thing. Those are called nouns. Now, there are some action words, some things that you can actually do that are called verbs. And so we always said a verb is an action word. A verb is an action word. Well, today we're going to talk about some action words, but these things aren't happening presently. They happened in the past. We had a lot of past tense words in this book. Naked Mole Rat Gets Dressed. Now, in the word dress, if you're doing it today, you might dress yourself this morning, or perhaps you've already done it and you dressed yourself this morning. This word is naked, and it has an ed that says ed, but it's not past tense. Naked is not something you did in the past or you can do right now. It's a describing word. So not all EDs in words mean that it happened in the past, like red, R-E-D. It didn't happen yesterday or a long time ago. It's just part of the word. But sometimes when you can see a base word that would be an actual word, if you took the ED off, it's not a tried and true way to tell, but it's a really good way to notice if words might just be past tense and they've had an ED added to them. We're going to get into that. It can be a little tricky. But for now, you need to know three things. ED can say ed, d, and t. And here's the motion. ED can say ed, d, and t. And what we're going to do is I have included in your kit 3 boxes. I'm going to show you how to put one together. And this is the way I always share with our students here at Book Bums. You put the curvy handles down and slip your hand inside. That's a good way to get a hold of it. Then you can see this box has been flattened, so it was easy to package for you. But then what you do is you squeeze the box this way so you can flatten it the other way. So it used to be flattened this way. Now we're going to squish it so it's flattened this way. And when you let go, you can see I've kind of made a box shape. Now I want you to go to the side that has a U. Do you see that U on the bottom flap? We're going to flip that flap right down, and I use my fingers to just kind of press. You want to kind of press it on so that there's a good fold here. Then after you do that one, you take the 2 sides and you press those down. And see how I'm kind of squeezing here? I want that to be a good fold. And we're folding it the opposite way it had the indentation marks. So here's what I have so far. Now you take the one that kind of looks like a volcano and you push that down. And when you do so, that volcano tip kind of catches in the U that we had pushed down first. And if you do it just right, it ends up making a stand-up box with handles. Now you're also given some of these labels, and it says, ED says ed, d, and t. And you're going to cut these apart. I wish I had done that ahead of time, but I wanted you to see what it looks like. In fact, some of your kits have something that looks like this. You have one entire sheet filled with these things. That's because a lot of teachers use our supplies in their classrooms, which we love. We want all kids to learn this way. And so they can just copy or print this and cut them apart, and then each student will have a strip. So you can either print out the whole thing, and I think we might have some that are singles. I'm not positive. You'll have to check your kit. So then what you're going to do is you're going to put these labels right on the boxes. And the labels will go like this. ED says ed, ED says d, and ED says t. So those are the 3 sounds. ED can say ed, which is totally expected because ed. That's what we would say if we were making the sounds. But sometimes ED just says d, like the E isn't even there. That's a little tricky, but at least you've got a D there to kind of remind you ED can just say d. The real crazy one is this one. Sometimes ED says t. There's not even a T there, but ED can say t. So remember, remember I told you about the 3 things about the naked mole rats? There are 3 sounds for ED. ED can say ed, d, and t. Ed is the easiest because you just make the sounds. D is the second easiest because at least there's a D in the ED. And the third crazy one is the t, because there's not even a T there. But you know that there are lots of words that have an ED that you've done in the past, and you don't make a D sound, you make a T. So here's the deal. I've given you lots of words that I actually read from The Naked Mole Rat Gets Dressed. Here are some. You can see I've just cut these apart, which you can do. And I want you to go through and make the sounds you see. And then remember, when you get to that ED, it's often added to the end to make the word, the action word, like this is demand. Demand. Oh, like my mom might demand that I take a bath today. Demand. But if she did it yesterday, I would say she demanded. She demanded that I take a bath. So this is demanded. This one, oh wait, so this one would go with the ed. I'm going to stick this kind of by this box so that we can remember the ED says ed. This one says s, dress. Ooh, see, that's the base word. That's the word upon this which this word is built. We added an ED to show that this happened in the past. Dressed, dressed, dressed. Yesterday, I woke up and I got dressed to go to the park. This is an ED that sounds like t. See, here's the thing. You're used to saying it like a t, but we're not used to noticing it oftentimes. So we're going to put this one with this ED says t. Here, now this is a good one because I want you to notice this. This is the word, well, hold on. If I get rid of the ED, it looks like lick. But I know CK follows short vowels. Here's the thing you need to know, and it's going to sound familiar because we had the ING lesson. Here's the deal. The base word is like. I know a magic E is going to jump over and tell that I to say its name. But if I put like with another ED, I would have two vowels together where the first one would say its name. So they just got rid of the second E and let the E that was already in the base word be a part of the ED combination that means it happened in the past. So this E still does magic, and the ED means that it happened in the past. Liked, like the naked mole rat who liked to get dressed. What sound does the ED make? Liked. Yeah, he liked to get dressed. That says t. All right, this says two vowels together. The first one says its name. Replied. Replied. This is tricky, and we're going to get to this, but the base word isn't reply with an I. What letter comes at the ends of short little words where the Y says I, like in my, or shy, or guy? Yeah, the word reply normally has a Y, but we changed the Y to an I and added ED. Don't worry, you'll get there, but here's what you need to know. Replied. So if I asked you a question and you replied, that ED says D, replied. All right, how about this one? Ask. That's the base word, ask. If I did it yesterday, I asked, asked, asked. Yeah, do you hear that? Asked is the one that sounds right. Now here's the thing. Sometimes you can convince yourself that it's making the sound D, but if you use it in the sentence, you'll usually hear yourself say t at the end. Very common for ED words to say t. So I've given you lots of word cards. I've already cut mine apart and put them in baggies. And what you're gonna do is, I usually just go over these naked mole rat words with a group out loud together. And then we build these boxes for the students to make their own ED sort. So you'll have your word cards all cut apart. You'll make the sound you see. Sometimes you see two vowels together where the E telling the first vowel to say its name. Anyway, this word is tied. Tied. So I tied my shoelaces. That's an ED saying D, tied. This one says wash. Wash is the base word, like I wash my hands. And if I put an ED at the end, it means I did it in the past. I washed my hands. So that's an ED that says t. So it's going to go there. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to decode lots and lots of these words and put them in the box that has ed that says ed, ed that says d, and ed that says t. You keep going through and you sort, and you get those boxes filled with words that have ed saying ed, d, and t. Now, do you remember these cards? They're from the ing lesson. It says verbs are action words, and it says ed, past, ing, present. So if you're asking, you're doing an action in the present, you're asking right now. If you did it in the past, I asked, you're doing it, you're adding an ed to that word to show that it was past tense. Now, what you have, and you've got your word cards are on big sheets, and you have to cut them apart to look like this. And here's this, I'm going to show it to you. You can print that on cardstock. That's what I do. If you don't want to, you can just do regular paper. But you have these, the rainbow to remind you that any vowel can jump and tell a vowel to say its name. These words, we're going to really focus on the ed. We're going to set the ing aside. Sometimes when you add ed, you need a blocker letter, just like you did with that ing. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to build some words. Make the sounds you see. G, r, I, n. Grin. Yeah, like to smile, to grin. If I use my word builder card, it would look like this. Grin. Now, if I put an ed at the end of this word to make sure that I know it happened in the past. I did it yesterday. I grinned at my brother. Grinned. I've got a problem, don't I? Do you see that E from the ed would do magic? It would tell that I to say its name. I don't want it to say grind. I want it to say grin in the past. Grinned. So what do I have to do to keep this E from doing magic? Do you remember this guy? The blocker letter? Yeah, so I'm going to double that N and then add the ED. I use the blocker guy, right? Easy peasy. If you got it for the ing, you'll have it easily for this one. Here's another word. It says map, like I made a map of the playground. Well, if I was outside mapping, I would have to have a blocker letter before I added the ing, because the I could jump over and tell that A to say its name, right? We don't want it to say maping. In the same way, if I just added an ed, that would say maped. I didn't maped the playground, I mapped the playground. So I need to add a blocker guy to keep that E from the ed from doing magic to that short vowel sound. Okay, I think you've probably got that since the ing lesson was not too long ago. Let's look at this word. It says snore. So there we have it, snored, or snore. And if I did it in the past, the word is going to be snored. If I add an ed to the word snored, I've got a problem, don't I? Because I have two vowels together. The first one would say E, snore-eed. I don't want it to say snore-eed. So what do? I let this E do the jumping and just get rid of the E that was already there. Let this E do the job. So there's snored. Let's look at this one. Here's call. Uh-oh, I see already. This has got a blocker guy already. So I can just add the ED. That says called, like I called you on the phone. And so I can just keep going through these words, deciding, do I need a blocker guy? Do I let the E that's already in the word stay there, or do I cover it up with the other E? So lots of practice that you can continue just like you did for those ing words. So you have to decide, do you need a blocker guy? Do you just get rid of the E? On magic E words, you'll know what to do if you did this practice with the ing words. Now, the next step is you have a spinner. You're going to print this out, and then you're going to get in your kit a spinner that looks like this. You'll have to take some scissors or something and just kind of put this spinner right in the middle of your spinner board. Let's see if I can do this without scissors. So I'm going to put it right down on the table. All right, you're going to see me challenge myself. I'm going to put it down on the table, then I'm just going to press this arrow right down inside the piece. There, I heard it snap. And then what you're going to do is you have to kind of loosen it up. We made our holes and we use cardstock here at Book Bums, but I don't know if you're going to want to go to that trouble to cardstock. So I wanted to try it with paper. Now here's the thing, you can see it's kind of hard to spin. So I just kind of loosen it up a little bit, and then you'll be able to keep playing with it until you've got a spinner that's easy to spin like that. Now you've got already your ED words inside your bags, or your boxes, whatever you want to call them, and you will have glued your labels on. I just didn't bring glue over with me. So what you're going to do is you're going to spin the words. If you land on the ED says t, then you pull out of that box one of the words that has ED that says t. So you're going to empty the boxes of all the words you've already put in by using your spinner. This is going to give you repeated practice, and it really helps with that orthographic mapping, so you can really recall if the ED says ed, d, or t. Remember, that's what we're working on today. So you're going to pull all of your words out of those boxes. You can put them back in the next day and take them out the next day until you get so good at reading all these words with ED that says ed, d, and t. Now I've got a few other things. You have movers and a die so that you can play ED says ed, d, and t, the game board. And you just start on any word you know. Remember, after you read the word correctly and your father or mother or someone who loves you said, yes, you nailed it. They color it in. You never land on that one again. All these words have ED. It says ed, d, and t. Now, here is some spelling practice, and this is, again, it's just exactly like the ones where we added ing, except this is easier because it's just adding the ed. So if you have a word like stare, which is a magic E word, you get rid of the E and add ed to the end. So you're going to write stared on the line and practice your best handwriting and your best spelling, remembering what do I do about that E at the end of a magic E word when I'm adding an ed to make it past tense. The trickier one is this one, to double or not to double. It's like, do I use the blocker guy or do I not use the blocker guy? So do I need to double a letter to block to keep that E from doing magic, or don't I? So the first word is glow. If I say the word glow, it's at an OW that says O. I can just go ahead and add the ED because the E is not going to change the sound of the vowel. But if I have the word blot, like if you fall down and you scrape your knee and your mom might take a wet cloth and gently tap it, that's to blot. Sometimes a girl might take a powder puff and blot her cheeks. Blot is to gently tap. If I blotted my sore knee with a wet cloth, blotted needs another T before I add the ED. Otherwise, the E would jump over and tell that O to say its name, just like the ing practice you did. Now, the last one is just a random. I pull words from my word cards, and I practice spelling words with ED. You'll have to know whether I need a blocker guy, whether I get rid of the E, whether I just add the ED and I don't need to change anything at all. So by the end of this practice, you'll be so good at reading words that show past tense with an ED. Remember, ED can say ed, d, and t. 3 sounds for ED. You also have in your kit some Boston baked beans. In the word baked, it's a magic E word, B-A-K-E. So when I needed it to say baked like it was done in the past, I use the E was there and then add the D, baked. And it says ed, d, or t, baked. Do you hear it? Yeah. Now the last one I want you to look at on the candy, it says candy coated peanuts. Coated, like if I coat it with candy. Today it's just coat, but if I did it in the past, I coated them. That's got an ED that says ed, d, or t. Coat ed. Yeah, it says ed. ED can say ed, d, and t. So enjoy your snacks. They do have peanuts in them, so be aware. And I hope you have lots of fun remembering the 3 sounds for ED.